Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome to our first Embassy Conversation series. We are trying something new to help share information about the countries that we share ancestry with, and who better to talk to than the ambassadors from these countries. And so I'm Gina Paige. I'm the president and co-founder of AfricanAncestry.com. I see some family. Darnell's in the building. What's up, Darnell? I'm glad you made it. D. Alex 45 is here. Jolie, of course, all the time. Flavor Genuine FG. So welcome to everybody who's joined us on whichever platform. We are AfricanAncestry.com, the pioneers of genetic ancestry tracing for Black people all around the world. And we help to reconnect people of the diaspora with their ancestral roots using DNA. We are unique in that we are the only company that can give you the present day African country and ethnic group that you share ancestry with on a maternal branch of your family tree and or a paternal branch of your family tree. We're the only Black-owned company in the industry. We led this work. We've been holding it down for over 21 years now. And we're very proud of that fact, of our presence in the market and the impact that this work has had on millions, over 1 million people who have used DNA to reconnect to specific places on the continent. The other thing I want to make sure I put in here before we get started is that we're the only company that does not sell or share our customers' DNA. And so you can feel very secure that when you share your genetic information with us, the DNA is destroyed once we determine a result. We got Mali in the building. I know we have Sierra Leone in the building. Who else is joining us in the building before I bring up our guest, our very first Embassy Conversations guest? I'm so happy to see all of you here. Okay, I'm not going to hold him any longer. So our guest tonight is Ambassador Nöel Messone. He represents the Republic of Gabon, which is a country in, I'd say, Central West Africa. For those of you who know the map, Gabon borders Cameroon, the country of Cameroon to the south. We have a lot of people who share Cameroonian ancestry. And so these are your neighbors. He represents your neighbors in the country of Gabon. I'm going to bring him up now. Sierra Leone, Angola. We got Angola in the, okay. We got Angola in the building. Ambassador, hello, good evening.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Despite the heat in Washington, D.C., but I'm pretty good. Yeah.
Well, actually, today is a beautiful day. I wanted to be outside and not in the office. We got a little relief from the humidity today.
Yes. In the morning, I went for a walk. It was quite nice. Yeah.
Nice. Well, It is a pleasure to have you. As I told you, and as I've told our audience, this is our very first Embassy Conversation series, or first in the series. You are kicking it off. You are the series right now, Ambassador. And it was very important to me that we start with you for several reasons. One, we have a relationship with the Embassy of Gabon here at AfricanAncestry.com. Thanks to Dr. Marielle Moore. For several years now, we've been able to communicate with the embassy and meet on certain occasions. And we're looking forward to doing more. And so that was one of the reasons why I wanted to have you here. Another reason is that your National Day is coming up. At the end of this week. And so we definitely want to talk about that. But before we get into that, I just want to level set. You know, here in Washington, D.C., we're very familiar with embassies. There's probably an embassy for every country, almost every country in the world here in Washington. But for those who aren't as familiar with the concept and the role of an embassy and an ambassador, I wonder if you could explain to us what your role is at the Embassy of Gabon here in Washington, D.C.?
Well, thank you for the question. And the easy answer and the most basic answer is that an embassy, any embassy, is responsible for managing bilateral relations between a country and the United States of America, in this case. And I, as the ambassador of Gabon, I am responsible for managing here in Washington the relationships between Gabon and the United States of America. Now, bilateral relations between two countries encompasses many things. It has to do with common interest in various areas, including security, commerce, economics, investment, but also what we call consular relations, meaning how Gabonese nationals are treated in the U.S. and how U.S. nationals are treated in Gabon. Another aspect is just people-to-people relations, is another aspect of what an embassy does. In that case, we are in contact with various organizations in the U.S., civil society organizations, think tanks, and other types of organizations. And for us, African country, the relations with the African diaspora, and for me, the African diaspora is the wider group of people, including Afro-descendants and Africans who have recently become American citizens. To me, that's a wider African diaspora in the United States of America. So that's another aspect of it. Then we have other aspects such as cultural relations, for example, managing student exchanges between the two countries. So in a nutshell, that's really what an embassy does. And most people are popular with, familiar with the role of embassy in delivering travel visas. When
Right.
you travel to a country, you go to an embassy to get a travel visa. That's one of the functions that most people are familiar with for an embassy. They're also familiar with if you need basic information about the country, about the conditions in the country, about all kinds of health advisory information when you travel to a country, hotels and tourism, those sort of travel information that you can also find by talking to people at an embassy. So that's by and large what an embassy does.
So there's a lot going on at the Embassy of Gabon.
Yeah.
You mentioned a lot of things, and the closest to our hearts, of course, is your perspective on African Americans, Africans from the Caribbean, and the sixth region, if you will, of the AU, reconnecting to their ancestry through DNA. And I wonder, what did you think when you heard about this? Like, what was your initial thought when you heard that this was possible? And how'd you find out about it? It wasn't me, because we hadn't met, but How did you find out about this?
Well, let me do a little bit of history.
Okay.
Uh, there are two important facts about the U.S. And Gabon. The initial contacts between Americans and Gabon go as far back as the 1840s. Uh, that's when young American Presbyterians from Boston, the Boston area, were sent off to the coast, the Atlantic coast of Africa, to establish Christian missions. Some of these young missionaries arrived in Gabon and they created the first ever Christian mission in Gabon. That mission still exists today.
Wow. Okay.
Some of these young missionaries, some of them died in Gabon for various reasons, and they are actually buried. Some of them at the mission cemetery.
Hmm.
So that's the initial fact, the first fact. Second fact is Libreville, the capital city of Gabon. Libreville in English is basically Freetown.
Yeah.
Freetown. Why Freetown? Because when slavery was abolished, some free slaves were released on the coast of Gabon. And that's how Libreville was created.
Ah, okay.
Right. Uh, there is a small island off the coast of Libreville. There are actually remnants of one of these ships that set foot in Gabon when these slaves were released.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the second important fact about African Americans tracing their history down to Gabon.
Mm-hmm.
We were very honored about 2-3 years ago when Samuel L. Jackson did his DNA search and traced his ancestry down to Gabon, visited Gabon, was able to actually pinpoint his ancestry to a group of people called the Benga people around the capital city by the ocean.
We did
Right.
that.
So, and recently, two persons, they just actually released a video of their trip to Gabon, Kevin and Mara. Kevin is a retired IT engineer in Colorado, and his sister, Mara, is a professor at the University of Colorado. They did that, and they just recently traveled to Gabon and did, a very interesting trip to Gabon, and they just released a video of their experience in Libreville. So we are quite excited and quite grateful of the work that you do that allows us to welcome persons or people such as Kevin and Mara, and as we did with Samuel L. Jackson. We hope to do more.
Yeah, and I know people like Denise Stokes, who's watching. We traced her ancestry to Gabon. She's quite excited to be here. And we are often asked by people, when are you going to do a trip to Gabon? We have what we call African ancestry family reunions, in which we curate trips home to go to different African countries. We are gearing up for our December trip. You guys are hearing it first. Our December trip to Cameroon is December 1st through the 14th of this year. And then we've added Nigeria for January of 2025. And so
Mhm.
we are looking forward to working with you and Dr. Moore and Bitege on how we can collaborate to bring the Gabonese descendants home uh, to Gabon. Darnell Clayton is asking, will Gabon offer citizenship again like they did with Samuel L. Jackson?
We are formalizing it. Samuel Jackson was the very first to visit, and when he visited, he was made citizen. And I am now proposing to the foreign ministry that we actually formalize that for future Gabonese descendants who want to become citizens. That's one thing I am working on. The second matter that I'm working on is actually for the government to find a way to facilitate access to land for Afro-descendants who might want to establish themselves in Gabon. So that's another aspect of it that I am bringing to the attention of the Gabonese authorities.
Well, I know there are many people. I didn't look it up before the call. I meant to, but I'd say probably somewhere between, I don't know, 3 and 6% of our results come back from Gabon. So that's quite a number of people who would be potentially interested in taking advantage of these opportunities to connect tangibly with Gabon. And
Absolutely.
you know, what we find, Ambassador, is that people don't just want to go visit. Like they want to go and they want to engage. The countries that we've visited already, people have invested. There are people who have invested. There are people who have rented apartments. There are people who have revisited multiple times. And so the African Ancestry family community takes this very seriously. It's not something that's just nice to know or nice to do, but something that they feel, they believe is an integral part of who they are, and they want to embrace that and engage with that.
I was traveling recently to Nebraska, and I was in the hotel lobby about to leave, and a gentleman came to me, asked, well, "Where are you from?" And I say, "Well, we're from Gabon," and he just went excited, and he said, "Wow, I'm going to call my wife because I just did my search. I am from Gabon."
Oh.
And I am from the Kwele, and the Kwele are part of my part of the country. So that was such an exciting moment for him. And he said, "Really, I can't believe it that I'm meeting people from Gabon."
You're a celebrity in these African ancestry streets, as we would say, Ambassador.
Right. So really, that's we and in fact, I would like to sometime in the future, for those who might want to participate, to host a meeting at the embassy, so we can have a conversation, and just get to know each other, and they can ask questions about Gabon. We could have the conversation around some of the issues that you just mentioned.
That would be great. And I know from my brief conversation that I had with you, you are extremely knowledgeable about history. I mean, you just took us back to the 1840s
Right.
with Gabonese, and you told me about the civil rights leaders who traveled to Gabon in the, I don't know, was that the 70s?
Oh yeah, in the 70s, yeah. The second African American Africa Summit was held in Gabon. The first one was held in the Ivory Coast, and the second one was held in Gabon. And you had everybody there. You had, Reverend Jesse Jackson, Randall Robinson, even Reverend Louis Farrakhan was there. I mean, everybody was there at that summit.
Nice.
Really, yes.
So we can't give it all away, Ambassador. They gotta come, they gotta come to the meeting
Yeah.
to get the rest of the info. But speaking of coming to the meeting, I believe that you got quite a bit of response, good response from African ancestry family members who are planning to attend the National Day celebration on Saturday. Can you tell
Mhm.
us a little bit about that celebration?
That is the August 17th is the day that Gabon became independent from France. And that became the national day. And usually it is celebrated back home in every places where Gabon has embassies. And this year, I particularly wanted to also bring in the African diaspora, meaning also all the Gabonese who are now Americans, and all the Afro descendants that have traced their ancestry to Gabon. I wanted to celebrate, that also by inviting all of them, any of them who could make it to the celebration on Saturday. So that was the intent, and for me, it was important to actually do it.
Well, it's the hot ticket in the African ancestry community. People have been talking about it and looking forward to it. I'm sure you'll get a lot of questions about citizenship. So hopefully we'll
Mhm.
send this out so that they can get they can
Mhm.
get hear it from you online, so they won't
Mhm.
keep bombarding you with the same questions. But
Absolutely.
they'll be
And
very
and a funny thing happened to me. One person uh, received a message, the invitation, and they thought it was some kind of a scam or some kind of and they reply back to me and saying, well, is it real or is it so I called the person and I said, no, I'm the ambassador. I'm calling you because I received your message. It's real, it's true. You are invited, and so forth, and she couldn't believe it. So
oh,
yeah.
I love
uh,
it. I love it.
right.
Well, I just wanted to, I think we can close out with, I want to get your Gabon top five. So, what are the top five things that you think know about Gabon?
First thing is, people often think of Africa from the lenses of a certain media that depicts Africa only through the lenses of conflict, strife, and all of that. So I would say one first thing to know about Gabon is peaceful country. We never went through a civil war. We've had our political tensions, just like any country in the world, when elections happen, but we've never had a civil war. So that's very important to know that we are one of the peaceful countries in Africa. First thing. Second thing, Gabon is, I say, a potentially rich country. Why? Because uh, God blessed Gabon with various natural resources, uh, oil, gas, minerals, vast lands of timber,
Mm,
uh, and being, a coastal country. Gabon has one of the, for some reason, I don't know what the reason is, some of the best tuna in the world is fished on the coast of Gabon.
wow.
That's why you have all this illegal fishing off the coast of Gabon because they want to come and fish some of the best tuna in the world that you find in Gabon.
Wow.
So that's the other thing you need to know about Gabon. The third thing you need to know about Gabon is very diverse culture.
Mm.
Uh, you have many local languages, so a very diverse culture. And speaking of culture, some of Gabonese traditional masks have been traded up to 5 million a piece on the arts markets
Yeah.
around the world. So a vibrant culture that is not always well known, but it's a very vibrant and very rich culture. That is another thing you need to know about Gabon. And most importantly, the people of Gabon. Uh, it's a small country by population, so basically everybody knows everybody sort of, because we're only 2 million people. So there's a certain warmness about
Mhm.
Gabonese people, hospitality. That's what also characterizes Gabon. Uh, so it's a country of great potential for the future, I think.
Well, I certainly hope that African ancestry family members can play a role in the development of the future for Gabon.
Definitely,
I think we're a
definitely,
very important
yeah,
resource for you, for the
very,
country. And that's one of our goals when we set out to do this work, is that we could help give people a foundation for how they
absolutely,
can help um, grow the economies, whatever it is that the countries need.
absolutely.
We have a set of wealthy
Hmm.
resources
Hmm.
as Americans, as Black Americans, that we can contribute to our homelands.
I was telling you about this landmark where this ship landed with free slaves off the coast of Gabon. Uh, I was brainstorming about that today, and I thought it might be a good idea where we could sort of mobilize uh, uh, everybody to sort of maybe build something symbolic that would be a place of pilgrimage when people travel to Gabon, so that they know that this is where actually these slaves were released when slavery was abolished.
Mm.
Yeah.
I love that idea. I'm excited about this conversation. I'm excited about your level of support and interest in African ancestry and the people of the diaspora who are connected. Well, not just who are connected to Gabon, but particularly them. I know Denise Stokes, she's in the chat. She's excited about me coming to the National Day celebration and meeting
Mhm.
you. Um,
Mhm.
as are many of the others who will attend.
Mhm.
So I want to thank you so much for spending 30 minutes. I was trying to keep it to 20, but you have so much good information. 30 minutes with us
Mhm.
across all of our platforms, and
Mhm.
giving us those top five. I'm going to repost those Gabon top five. We'll see what
Mhm.
the other ambassadors say. You set the bar now for these
Mhm.
embassy
Mhm.
conversations,
Mhm.
Ambassador. But again, I just would like to thank you honestly and authentically for joining us. And I look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
On Saturday, and I will send you this video by Kevin and Mara about
Yes.
their trip. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Everybody. Oh, one question. Barry
Mhm.
Payton. What's up, Barry Payton? He lives in New Orleans,
Mhm.
Ambassador. He asked, what is the name of the island near Libreville? Does it have a name?
It's called Point Denis. Point Denis.
Point Denis. Okay,
Yeah.
how do you spell? I know Point. P O
Point
I
P
N T.
P O I N T E. Point
Uh-huh.
Denis, like Dennis.
Oh, Denis, but with one N, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Point Denis.
Point
Okay.
Denis.
I
Yeah.
put that in the comments. All right, everybody. I hope you have a very good evening. And again, I want to thank Dr. Moore for facilitating this and facilitating our connection. And I'd like to thank Bitege for being in the background, holding it down for us there. Everybody, please continue to follow African Ancestry on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. We're on all the socials. And also, follow Gabon. Do you all have any social media presence, Ambassador?
We have to improve that, but we do have. We have the embassy website, but we're going to try to improve and try to expand our presence in social media also.
Okay, well, you could definitely go to the embassy website. And yes, we are on Thread. Shout out to Darnell Clayton. Everybody, until we meet again, may you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you be whole. Have a very good evening. And Ambassador, if you could just stay on for a second. Good night, everyone.